Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anchor Point Passions. I'm Sarah Sherman, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 different ways that you can get a bullseye in a day. But first, before I talk about this, I wanted to talk a little bit about a project that I've been working on with YouTubers from around the globe. We're from a group called #NoSmallCreator, and a guy named Nick Ken from the group came up with an idea that we would create a Docu Series on the coronavirus pandemic. But it really wouldn't be about what the media is saying, but it would be more about what we're doing in our lives and how everything is affecting us. So the first episode that we created was on Nick Ken's channel, and that's Live, Laugh, Love. And our next episode that we have is on Katie Stowe, her channel, and that's Katie Stowe Media. And this episode is mainly focused around exactly what we're doing during quarantine. So now this episode's more focused around how we're spending our time in quarantine and how the quarantine has affected us. So now I'm going to get into exactly how you go about getting a bullseye in a day. And I have 5 steps for you to do that, and at least I hope that these 5 steps, if not just get you a bullseye, they'll get you closer to getting that bullseye that you want. The first step is really integral because your foundation is key. And in archery, our foundation is our feet. I want to make sure for tip number 1 that you aren't leaning. Now, when a lot of people lean, they either lean from their feet and their legs or they lean from their hips and their waist. People that lean from their legs, they generally tend to favor one leg or another, so they'll either be leaning forward or backward. So to fix this, you want to make sure that you're standing even on both of your feet, and this will correct you either leaning forward or backward because you won't be favoring a leg. Now for the people that lean from their waist or from their hips, this one's a little bit difficult to actually pinpoint because you won't be able to feel it in your shot as easily. A lot of people, when they draw their bow back, they'll lean with their draw, and this could be because you have too much weight on your bow. It could be that you're pulling too much weight trying to get back to your anchor. There's a lot of things that could affect you leaning. So first, I would just make sure that you just correct and you always are thinking about standing up straight. And since this is really hard to feel sometimes in your shot, I'd make sure to just record yourself. Just get out with your phone, position it in a place that you can film yourself. If you have someone to film you, definitely get that person out there just to take a little video so you can see exactly what you're doing and how to fix it. So you'll just shift your weight either forward or backward depending on if you're leaning backwards or forwards. So if you're leaning backwards, you need to shift your weight a little bit more to forwards, and if you're leaning forwards, then you need to shift your weight a little bit backwards. Another thing that I would say that is really imperative to shooting a bullseye and making sure that you're having good form is to not grip the bow. I think there's just a lot of videos and just a lot of movies out there that have the characters and the people in those gripping onto their bow. And really, this just isn't a thing that you should be doing with your bow. And that's mainly because when you grip your bow, you normally twerk your bow either to the left or to the right. And this is going to force your arrow to either go to the left or go to the right and not shoot down the center. What you want to make sure is that you have a nice and just relaxed grip around your bow riser so that bow can just jump a little bit out of your hand and it'll jump forward so that your bow is going forward, your arrow will be going forward, and it'll hit the center of that target. And I think when a lot of people either grip their bow, they either death grip it, and that's normally when they grip it so hard that their knuckles turn white, or they're afraid when the shot goes off and they grip their bow right at the end of the shot. And really, this grip at the end of the bow, that's where you're twerking. Just make sure that you know that your bow is not going to fall out of your hands. And there's 2 ways that you can do this. If you're afraid of your bow jumping out of your hands and falling, and now the money that you spent onto the bow is now gone. And the first thing you can get is a wrist sling. This will just wrap around your bow and you'll just put it You'll put your wrist through it so you can have your wristband around your wrist. And when you shoot your bow, that wristband will just catch the bow and it'll stop it from dropping to the ground so that you can have your loose grip, but your bow won't fall. What I personally like a lot better, is a finger sling. And the finger sling goes around, it could go around your index finger or your middle finger, and then it loops around your thumb. And this acts the same as the wrist sling. It'll catch the bow when the bow is shot so that you don't have to worry about dropping the bow. So the third thing that I would say you should do to make sure that you're shooting very strong shots to get that arrow into the bullseye is to bring your elbow around your head. When you think about this, a lot of people that have weak shots, their hand just boop, comes back, and that's all it does. Or you see some of these pros that are shooting, and their elbows will come all the way around their head. It's like an explosive shot. And this is because of one of two things. They're using their back and their elbow is rotating around their head. This is because they are engaging their back muscles. And so rotating your elbow around your head just automatically engages your back muscles even when you're not thinking about it. So even if you're using back tension or not, I'd make sure that you are rotating your elbow around your head, engaging those muscles even if you might not be thinking about it, so that your shots can be even more powerful, sending that arrow right down into the bullseye. The fourth step that I want to point out is to keep your shoulders low. So there's a couple things that can lead to your shoulders raising up. And for your front shoulder, a lot of that can be either you're drawing too much weight, so you're forcing your shoulder to come up so that it's easier for you to draw back. Another thing that you can be doing is that you're holding your bow and you're holding too long, and so your shoulder is coming up slowly as you're trying to get your shot to go off. And these two things are both things that I've done in the past, so don't be embarrassed if these are things that you're doing as well. And your back shoulder can creep up on you also. Make sure that you're keeping your back and your front shoulders down. A way to make sure that they're both down is by engaging these muscles right here. And to do that, you just pop your shoulders up like this, shrug, and then just let them relax. And when you push your shoulders down, if you really want to feel your muscles, if you really push your shoulders down, you can start feeling your muscles right here. And so whenever you go up to shoot, just make sure that you're engaging those muscles, making sure you keep your shoulders relaxed, and they will stay down for the entire shot. So the last thing that I have for you guys about how to get a bullseye in a day, or something that you can change in a day to help you get a bullseye, is to think about where you're aiming. Make sure that you're looking at where you want your arrow to go. I'm sure right now you're thinking, well, no duh, Sarah. Of course you want to look where you're aiming. But it's really true. You need to be looking at where you're aiming. A lot of times we get caught up looking at our pin or looking at our dot that's in our scope. Or if you're a barebow archer, looking at the point of your arrow, and we see those things moving around on our targets and we start to go, oh, look pretty. And so now we're watching our pin move around and we're not looking at the target. So when our shot goes off and our pin's way out here and we're looking at it, now all of a sudden our arrow's going to go right where our pin's at and not into the center where we want it. We need to be looking right at the middle of the target, focusing right on that. So as we're looking at the center of the target and we're focusing on the center of the target, our pin will just naturally float right where we're looking at. All right, guys, I hope you really liked that video. If you have any other tips that you could give any archers that are on this channel, any tips that you have for getting a bullseye in a day. If you liked this video, please give me a like. If you want to see more of my videos, click that subscribe button and become a part of this awesome community. If you want to know right when my videos come out, please click that bell and you will be notified. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Ooh, actually, also, I have a big surprise that I'm going to be launching out on Thursday, so make sure that you watch Thursday's video. Also, I'll be doing more critiquing and reviewing archery in the movies, so get pumped for that. I will see you guys then.